where you can find the Targums for free and where you can find the Septuagint for free. There's tons of PDFs out there you can get at free Brenton's. So let's see here. Okay, we're live and we're ready. We're recording. Shalom, everyone. I'm Brother Doug. I'm with my brothers and sisters here at the Awakened by Yahuwah Fellowship in Yahuwah Almighty and Yahusha Messiah. Tonight, we're going to be doing a study we usually do every Sabbath evening pretty much. So I'm going to be going on my Word software here, as you can see here on the live. All right, so let's see here. I got the Targum on Kalos to the right, Septuagint to the left. All right, and all right, so we're going to be getting going here. Leviticus chapter 23. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to the children of Yasharal, and you shall say unto them, The feast of Yahuwah, which you shall call set apart assemblies. These are my feasts or festivals. Okay, pretty much the same there. 6 days you shall do works. It does not say you need to work a job for 6 days, okay? Let's be careful how we interpret that, all right? There's a lot of other things we do in life that are work, so it's including everything, including your vocation, your secular vocation. But on the 7th day is the Sabbath, a rest, a set-apart gathering to Yahuwah. You shall not do any work. It is a Sabbath to Yahuwah in all your dwellings. So you can pretty much do it anywhere in all your dwellings, even in captivity. Okay. These, the feast to Yahuwah, set apart gatherings, which you shall call in their seasons. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month, between the evening times, is Yahuwah's Passover, or in the Aramaic, it would be Pascha. All right. And actually what's surprising is that's the same word in Greek, so I guess the transliteration doesn't change there. That's a proof that transliteration should not change. Okay. And on the 15th day of this month is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. To Yahuwah 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread, and the first day shall be a set-apart gathering to you. You shall do no servile work, and you shall offer whole burnt offerings to Yahuwah 7 days. And the 7th day shall be called a set-apart gathering to you. You shall do no servile work. Okay. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to the children of Yasharal, and you shall say to them, When you shall enter in the land which I give you and reap the harvest. Notice how it says, into the land Yahuwah shall give us. Okay. And reap the harvest of it. Then shall you bring a sheaf, the first fruits of your harvest, to the priest. Okay. That's why we can't do that right now. We're not in the Levitical priesthood. And he shall lift up the sheaf before Yahuwah to be accepted for you. On the morrow of the first day, the priest shall lift it up. And I think the Targum on the right here makes it a little bit more literal here. You shall uplift the Omer before Yahuwah to be accepted for you after the day of the festival. Yom Tava shall the priest uplift it. And you shall offer on the day on which you bring the sheaf a lamb without blemish, obviously spiritually indicating, foreshadowing Yahusha here. Okay, a lamb without blemish. He was without blemish, without sin. Of a year old for a whole burnt offering to Yahuwah. So even the whole burnt offering, Yahusha resembled not just the Passover, but even the whole burnt offerings and the peace offerings. And it's grain offering. So just again, too, you can look this up on kjvdictionary.com. Meat in the Old British is grain, or just any type of food. It could be vegetables. In Genesis 1 in the King James, it literally says, every herb of the field I give to you for meat. So meat in the Old English did not refer to animals necessarily. Okay. 2/10 portions of fine flour mingled with oil It is a sacrifice to Yahuwah, a sweet smell, sweet savor to Yahuwah, and his drink offering, the fourth part of a hin of wine. You could say the wine even symbolizes Yahusha too. Once you get to the Brit Hadashah with the Passover, he's drinking the wine. He's saying, I will not drink of this vine until my Father's kingdom comes, All right. And you shall not eat bread or the new parched grain. Okay, this is another thing too with the British language. When it says corn, it's not referring to what we today call in our modern English language corn. It's referring to any type of grain. It's the old British word for grain. Until this same day, until you offer the sacrifices to your Elohim, a perpetual statute throughout your generations and all your dwellings, and you shall number to yourselves from the day after the Sabbath, from the day of which you offer the sheaf of the heave offering, 7 full weeks. Okay, pretty much the same thing there. Until the morrow after the last week, you shall number 50 days, and shall bring a new grain offering to Yahuwah. And the minka is the Aramaic word for like a grain offering. Okay. And you shall bring from your dwelling loaves as a heave offering. 2 loaves they shall be of 2/10 portions of fine flour. They shall be baked with leaven of first fruits to Yahuwah. And again, this symbolizes Yahusha here. Yahusha is the first of the first fruits, right? So he's the first of the first fruits that slept. Okay. When it's referring to the resurrection. Okay. Baked with first fruits. Okay. And you shall bring the loaves 7 unblemished lambs of a year old, and 1 calf of the herd, and 2 rams without blemish, and they shall be a whole burnt offering to Yahuwah. And their grain offerings and their drink offerings sacrifice a smell of sweet savor to Yahuwah. And they shall sacrifice 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering. And even this points to Yahusha, because we look at the Day of Atonement where the goat is sacrificed for all the sins of Israel, right? All the sins of Yasharal. And, I believe that's also symbolizing Yahusha. Yahusha was he's the atonement for our sins. So they shall sacrifice 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, 2 lambs of a year old for a peace offering. Yahusha is the chastisement of our peace. The chastisement of our peace was upon him. Okay. So again, the lambs symbolize Yahusha with the loaves of the first fruits. And the priest shall place them with the loaves of the first fruits, and offering before Yahuwah with the 2 lambs. They shall be set apart to Yahuwah. They shall belong to the priest that brings them. And you shall call this day a set apart gathering. It shall be to you. You shall do no servile work on it. It is a perpetual ordinance forever. So that's why we're supposed to, even though we can't fully keep these feasts, we're still supposed to celebrate them every year. It's kind of like, I look at it like right now we can rehearse and know our lines, until the king comes. It is a perpetual ordinance throughout your generations and all your habitations. Okay. All right. And when you shall reap the harvest of your land, notice how it says your land, not the land of our captivity, your land, meaning the land of Canaan, the promised land. You shall not fully reap the remainder of the harvest of your field. When you reap, and you shall not gather that which falls from your reaping, you shall leave it for the poor and the stranger. I am Yahuwah. Okay. Self-explanatory there. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to the children of Yasharal, saying, in the 7th month, on the 1st day of the month, you shall have a rest, a memorial of trumpets. It shall be to you a set apart gathering. And right here too, even the Aramaic here, a memorial of trumpets, or to be more accurate from the original Greek or Aramaic, it probably would say a memorial of blowing trumpets. Okay. Let me see here. Somehow I went too far down here. Yeah, here we go. Verse 25. Sorry about that. You shall do no servile work. You shall offer a whole burnt offering to Yahuwah. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, also on the 10th day of the 7th month is a day of atonement. It shall be a set apart gathering to you, and you shall humble your souls. That's the commandment here. That's what anah means. Humble yourself and offer a whole burnt offering to Yahuwah. And you'll see it's the same thing in the Aramaic Targum here. Humble your souls. Okay. And you shall do no work on this self same day, for this is a day of atonement for you to make atonement for you before Yahuwah, your Elohim, or Alua. Depends whether it's supposed to be singular there or not. Whoops, I keep doing that. I hate that this stupid program sometimes messes up. Hold on a second. All right, verse 29. And just to explain to you how Feast of Trumpets points to Yahushua, I know I kind of went through the commandments of the Feast of Trumpets without explaining. So the Feast of Trumpets, I think historically, if I'm not mistaken, were to coronate kings. So I personally believe, contrary to popular opinion in Hebrew roots, I believe he was born on trumpets rather than tabernacles. I know that's not the popular belief, but I believe he possibly could have even been born on 9/11, on September 11th, back in, whenever year he was born, 1 BC, 2 BC. I actually believe that according to the alignment in the sky that year that they saw in the constellations, with the astronomers have said, supposedly it would have aligned up to the sign in Revelations 12. So I don't know, that's kind of my opinion. But anyway, so, and just the fact that he's the King of Kings, kings are coronated, would make sense to me that he's born on that day. So anyway, and obviously the Day of Atonement we're reading about right now, he's the atonement of our sins. Okay. All right. Anyway, verse 29, every soul that shall not be humbled in that day shall be cut from among its people. Okay. Yep. Same thing. And every soul which shall do work on that day, that soul shall be destroyed from among its people. You shall do no manner of work. It is a perpetual statute throughout your generations and in all your habitations. It shall be a set apart Sabbath to you, and you shall humble your souls. From the 9th day of the month, from evening to evening, you shall keep your Sabbaths, plural. Okay, so this means that all the Sabbaths. It's not just referring to, and actually in the Greek here, it's plural for Sabbath. So that's why it has an S there in the English. So it's actually not just referring, a lot of people want to say it's only the Day of Atonement, evening to evening. No, every Sabbath. Sabbath's evening to evening, not morning to morning. Okay? It's very important to understand that. Very important. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to the children of Yasharal, saying, on the 15th day of the 7th month there shall be a feast of tabernacles 7 days to Yahuwah. And on the first day shall be a set-apart gathering. You shall do no servile work. 7 days shall you offer whole burnt offerings to Yahuwah. And the 8th day, which actually Yahusha references in the New Testament as the last great day. You can find that, I believe, in John. Try and remember, Mom. Is it John chapter 7? He talks about the last great day. He says, come, those who are thirsty. And it's pretty symbolic because it's talking about the same day that this chapter is talking about, the 8th day. Shall be a set apart gathering to you, and you shall offer whole burnt offerings to Yahuwah. It is a time of release. You shall do no servile work. These the feasts to Yahuwah which you shall call set apart gatherings. And to be honest, I'll be honest with you guys, a more appropriate word than feast, because not every appointed time is a feast. I did want to mention that. It should be Moedim is the Hebrew word, which just means appointed times. So these are his appointed times. These are our appointed times that we are to meet with the King of the universe, the King of Kings, Yahuwah Almighty, Yahushua Messiah. Okay. Which you shall call set apart gatherings to offer burnt offerings to Yahuwah, whole burnt offerings, and their grain offerings, and their drink offerings, that for each day on its day. Okay. And you can actually find that also a good cross-reference for this is later on. We're not there yet, but is I just read the other day. I think it's Numbers 28 to 29. Actually spells out all the festival sacrifices very, very explicitly, a little bit more explicitly than this overview here. Okay. Besides the Sabbaths of Yahuwah, and besides your gifts, and besides all your vows, and besides your freewill offerings, you shall give to Yahuwah. And on the 15th day of this 7th month, you shall have completely gathered in the fruits of the earth. You shall keep a feast to Yahuwah 7 days. On the first day, there shall be a rest, meaning a Sabbath. And on the 8th day, a rest. Okay. So on the first day is a Sabbath, and the 8th day is a Sabbath. And on the first day, you shall take goodly fruit of trees and branches of palm trees, thick boughs of trees and willows and branches of osiers from the brook to rejoice before Yahuwah your Elohim 7 days in the year. Okay. I find it interesting that the Aramaic is missing in the year. It's kind of funny. It's a little difference there. Okay. A perpetual statute for your generations. In the 7th month you shall keep it. 7 days you shall dwell in tabernacles or bowers or, temporary dwellings. That's what the Hebrew and the Greek means there. Tabernacles, tents, bowers, huts, whatever you want to call it. It's temporary dwellings. Every native in Yasharal shall dwell in tents. I know a lot of people get hung up on this. I used to get hung on this when I was new in this walk, and I used to think, well, that's just saying only native Israelites. But again, Yahuwah says in Numbers 15, there is one law for the sojourner and the native born. So, Yahuwah is not going to contradict himself and say that it's only commanded that native born Israelites can keep it. By the way, it would be impossible to do that. If he really meant that, that means not even the mixed multitude could keep it. So, even at that point, they had believers grafted in from the Mitzrites, the Egyptians. So, plus the fact Paul, in his own letters to the Galatians, in Galatians 3 says, there's no more Greek no more Judean nor Greek, male nor female, all are one in Messiah, meaning that there's no difference. So that your posterity may see that I made the children of Yasharal to dwell in tents when I brought them out of the land of Egypt, I, Yahuwah, your Elohim. And Moshe recounted, let's see here, hold on, let's see here, whoops, let me see here. What verse was I at, Mom? This stupid
I'm looking myself.
So, hold on. Besides the Sabbaths. Besides the Sabbaths. All right, I stopped at, and Masha recounted. It's got to be one of the last verses here. There should be a Feast of Tabernacles. We already did the Feast of Tabernacles. And the Feast of Yahuwah. We already did all that. Besides the Sabbaths of Yahuwah, and besides your gifts, besides all your vows, besides all your free will offerings, which you shall give to Yahuwah. See, it keeps doing that. I don't understand why it does that. I'm trying to drag, and it's being stupid. Here we go, verse 38. Okay, so whole burnt offerings or grain offerings or drink offerings for each on its day. Besides the Sabbaths of Yahuwah, besides your gifts, besides all your vows, and besides your free will offerings, which you shall give to Yahuwah. And on the 15th day of this 7th month, when you shall have completed gathering in the fruits of the earth, you shall keep a feast to Yahuwah 7 days. On the first day, there shall be a rest. Okay. And on the 8th day of rest. See, this is what keeps happening. That's,
first day.
Yeah. Let's see here. 2 branches. Yeah, we already talked about that. A perpetual statute for your generations, 7 months you shall keep it. Yeah, we already talked about tabernacles. In 7 days you shall dwell in tabernacles every native born. Yeah, that your posterity may see that I made the children of Yasharel to dwell in tents when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I am Yahuwah your Elohim. Okay. And Moshe recounted the feast of Yahuwah to the children of Yasharel. Sorry about that, guys. My stupid cursor kept going up and down, retracking. So I kept losing my place. Sorry about that, everyone. So anyway, that's pretty much Leviticus 23. I think we're going to keep that just one chapter for tonight, since it's Sabbath evening, and we're gonna probably closely, shortly, we usually end our meetings around 11 or midnight my time. So thank you for joining us, and I hope that clears up some things, and I hope you see the significance for any Christians listening in, why you would be wanting to, rehearse and celebrating these feasts, even though we can't fully keep them according to the fact that we're in a Melchizedek heavenly priesthood versus the Levitical priesthood when these commandments were fully given. Why it's important to believers in Messiah to keep these feasts. All the feasts point to Yahusha, and as nicely as I can put it, all the feasts that you've been taught in the church to keep have nothing to do with him. Have everything to do with his mortal enemy, actually. So I pray that Yahuwah used us as vessels, used me as a vessel, since I was the one that was reading, to bring this message to you, and maybe it sprinkled something in your heart, in your mind, to actually want to be open-minded to this, to actually want to learn more about our Father's word, and actually to become a full Bible believer. So I just want to thank you for giving an ear here, and possibly having eyes to see and ears to hear. Thank you for joining us. To our brothers and sisters who have been joined in via Facebook Live, and we'll see it later, probably tomorrow on YouTube. Have a great rest of your Sabbath. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Okay.